We are what we eat. If this saying is true, nearly every person alive should be worried about industrial agriculture. What is industrial agriculture? Simply put, is the process of using GMOs and CAFOs and similar techniques to grow food on a large industrial scale. This might not sound all that bad. Stable food supply, lower food prices, increased yield from crops are all good things, right? Maybe at a glance, but when you examine the practices used by large industrial agriculture corporations and the side effects these practices have on what you are eating, you may begin to question why these practices have become so popular in the American marketplace. The answer, simply put, is money and lots of it. I'm going to take you through two common practices in industrial agriculture and how they affect your health, your environment, and your economy. First, we begin with maybe the most talked about problem with industrial agriculture. Genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, are probably the most widely known problem with large-scale industrial agriculture affecting our country today. GMOs are fruits and vegetables who have had their DNA modified to be resistant to bugs, weather, or even resistant to disease. They can also be modified to yield more food per plant. All of these changes result in larger yields at lower cost on smaller amounts of land. Now, they say consuming fruits and vegetables who have had their DNA messed with has no negative effects on the human body and is no different from consuming normal healthy vegetables. They are wrong. There are studies done by the Institute for Responsible Technology that show consumption for GMO food damages almost every vital organ, doing its worst work to the digestive tract and immune systems. GMOs are leaving things behind in our body, causing unknown long-lasting effects. GMOs food can also transfer its foreign DNA to the DNA in our body's bacteria, causing potentially dangerous mutations. Massive consumption of GMOs has also been linked to an increase in cancer, obesity, and disease. These are things that GMOs are only doing to your body. GMO plants have built to withstand ever-increasing amounts of pesticides in response to super weeds that are resistant to normal amounts of pesticides that massive use of GMOs and pesticides have created. That's only the beginning of the long-lasting detrimental effects GMOs have on our environment. GMOs pollinate just like other plants do, spreading dangerous combinations of DNA to similar plants, most of the time killing them. GMO plants kill normal healthy plants of the same kind, therefore leading to only GMO plants. Mixing these DNAs from other things in our plants has caused the creation of new and unknown toxins and allergens, causing an increase in food-based allergies. Maybe the most saddening thing is the corruption that surrounds GMOs. What happens is independent and government science organizations are attacked in silence for reporting the dangerous side effects of GMOs. The major agricultural corporations have a lot of money on the line, and they don't want anyone messing that up. These companies set up and pay for rigged research to favor GMOs. They infiltrate Washington and combat GMO-based legislation unless it favors their pocketbook. And worst of all, the GMOs don't even produce the higher yield plants like the companies claim they do. All while they line their pockets and people get sicker and the environment keeps getting worse. It should also be noted that almost all American meat comes from animals fed nothing but GMO corn and wheat. That brings me to my next point, concentrated animal feeding operations. CAFOs are the assembly line of meat production, and that's not a good thing. CAFOs pack animals into small cages that are way overcrowded, then feed GMO and antibiotic-rich animal feed that fattens them up as fast as possible so they can be turned into meat as fast as possible. The high concentration of animals in tight spaces makes any bacteria or sickness spread like wildfire through these cramped cages. To combat disease, animals are pumped with antibiotics, causing two major issues. One, animal-based diseases are getting stronger and more likely to spread to humans and more resistant to antibiotics, making CAFO operators increase the dosage. Problem number two is that antibiotics stay in the meat, and that is consumed by us and makes our body more resistant to the effects of antibiotics, which makes all human diseases and infections harder to treat. Some estimates believe all antibiotics we have now won't work in 75 years, therefore sending us back to the dark ages where you can die from a cold. CAFOs produced more poop in 2012 than all of Americans did in the same year. All of this manure used to be used to feed the soil, but now the animals and crops are grown separately because of GMOs and CAFOs. They have to just pile it up where It seeps into local groundwater or lakes, killing wildlife, fish, and putting a bunch of cow poop in our drinking water. Industrial agriculture is at its very core a dangerous practice that puts not only our lives at risk, but our environment or our entire way of life. The sad thing is that some damage can't be undone, but standing up to big agriculture and stopping what they are doing to our environment is the most important thing of this generation.